Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
What is up, everyone? It is I, Ryan Neil Wayne, joined by Joe King. And also we are joined by Kendall, our season one winner of Day After Orgs, Cursed Island. So, Kendall, introduce yourself to the audience at home.
Well, it's me, Kendall. It's my first time playing, and apparently I did really well. I didn't even know what to
Yes,
expect, but it was pretty awesome.
nice. Let tell people at home, where you're from, what you do, things like
Gotcha.
that. Fun fact.
Yes,
Yeah.
born and raised in Southwest Florida. I was bartending, serving at the same place for almost 10 years, and a couple months ago, recently started working for my parents' towing company, dispatching, which is very different than what I've used to, but I love it. Just jumped right into it. They said I'm doing great. I mean, I don't know if they're just saying that because they're family, but at least I'm enjoying it. So that's good. Fun fact, I don't know. I was Me and my brother and my younger sister were all voted class clown. I don't know. That's kind of cool.
Nice. That's the
Nice.
best one to get voted for, by the way, of,
Right?
of all of
That's so
them.
too,
Yeah.
right? All the other ones are never mind.
Nah, that's pretty cool. So you have never watched any TV before this, right?
I'm
Or any comp shows?
not like what you guys do. Of course, you watch Survivor, and other reality TV shows, but not like hardcore fan. I would say a few
Mhm.
years ago more I would watch Survivor, but recently not that much. And I don't know, I just wanted to do something different. Never thought that the opportunity would ever come like that, and just came, played, and demolished them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your first initial thoughts when Miranda was the one who recruited you for the season? What was your thoughts when she came to you with the idea of playing this org?
Honestly, like, F it, whatever, let's try it. I've done so much this past year that was pretty much my mentality going into anything is whatever, what do you have to lose? And I don't know, I'm glad I did it. It was a lot of fun. I would love to do another one, and just you'll have to excuse my dog. He's in here with me, and I don't know if you can just hear him breathing, but
It's okay. Well, yeah, we love dogs here. Like,
okay.
if yeah, if you want to bring them in, like it's all fine.
He would be
Your
crying at
babies,
the door if I didn't. So that or
your
this.
babies are always welcomed here.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm sure he'll make an appearance here, and so
perfect, perfect.
there he is.
No. So other than did you I ask, did you see Miranda's game when she played in Fancers Favorites 4?
Not Sorry, not the whole thing, the 3 day event, because I used to work nights, and then I never caught up on it. But the last episode I did watch. She told me I needed to watch it. I didn't know that she had one until after I had watched it, but pretty exciting. It was just a lot. I don't know. Everyone seemed to just have a lot of fun doing it, and I was like, why not try that?
Nice. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
No. So when things start up, you enter this group chat with 12 other contestants. What were your thoughts like when things started opening up? Like, what were you thinking
I
of
want
everyone?
to say when the group chat started, I think I was taking a nap. So once I woke up and had all these notifications and messages to go back and read, at first I was like, what is going on? But everyone was really excited to do it. And I didn't want to jump in and be like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I've never done this before. So I just kind of stayed back, didn't really say much because I honestly didn't really know what to expect. I know most of the other people had done them before. So I was just kind of feeling around and you know, stop that.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Group chats are definitely, can be very overwhelming. And I do kind of think it's good not to be the first one jumping in anyways. So like, I
Mhm.
think that nap actually might have been like kind of
Yeah.
a blessing there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let everyone else just like go crazy, and then you can kind of come in and be like, hey, this is me, and then go
Yes.
back
Yes.
into.
Yes. I think I did come on at one time and say that I was excited about it, and then just kind of stepped back and just watched everyone else.
uh, nice,
It was a
nice.
pretty active chat too. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
think,
Since it started until right before the game began, yeah, it was. Someone was saying talking the whole time. There was always
Yeah.
someone there.
Yeah. Were
Jeffy was
you?
always, it's,
Yeah, Jeffy. Yeah, also
Oh
Jeffy.
yes, him
He,
for sure.
he
Yes, I remember.
he was talking a lot. He was also sending us, by the way, in his in his confessional chat, like video met like confessionals, like 50 of them, only for him to get voted
Jeez.
out like right away. So
He was
uh,
yeah.
ready.
he was so into it.
That's all.
But yeah, were you by any chance awake when the idol dropped, or did you even really do any attempting at looking at that idol
I
clue?
I didn't even know that that's what that was. I
Hmm.
thought it was just, I don't know, a random picture someone had shared, and then someone said something. I think it was actually Miranda who had said something later during the game, about that, and then that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, okay. That makes more sense now. So
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, there were only like two people who actually sent like answers to it. So it was
Well, good for
definitely
them.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is also crazy too, because some of them are experienced before. To a
Yeah.
new person,
Hmm.
if you haven't really watched, and I think it's even tough because like you said you watched Miranda's, sometimes it'd be tough to know how some of them even got the advantages and stuff,
Mhm.
because different orgs do it different ways. In
Hmm.
Miranda's season, they did a thing where it was like they had to pretty much decipher a word because all the mods, they had like one letter capitalized in each of their names, and it spelled out
Okay.
either several or Jelensky, reference to a contestant from the last season of Survivor. I played one where you had to screenshot an emoji. Um, there's all these different
Okay.
methods to
That's
get
cool.
idols.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I did go back and watch this afterwards and saw how y'all did it then, because I never was put in the position to get one, so I didn't even
Mhm.
know how those were given out until after I went back and watched this, the one that we had done, which is
Mhm.
still pretty cool.
Yeah, the Curse Island, we did that in a way to be like, all right, this is a way for people to get like advantages, stuff like
Hmm.
that. Also, when people go and strategize and whatnot,
Hmm.
keeps the live active and
Yes.
everything else.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
people love advantages and potentially disadvantages.
Yeah.
Miranda was one of the people that wanted. Actually, there was only one person who didn't win an advantage, and unfortunately, that was Kari.
Yeah. The only
Okay.
person to lose their vote
Oh
from
no.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think Esteban. Oh no, his vote was stolen.
Yeah.
Yes, by
Okay.
Vivi. All right. So when it started off, it was just random draw. In sense of like when teams were picked and
Hmm.
everything. What was going through your head, especially because the possibility of not being on the same team as Miranda and everything, was what was going through your head?
Honestly, it felt like being a kid again, being picked for like sports and school. I just wanted to be on the winning team. Not that it really mattered then, but I don't know. Everything was just kind of going all at once. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what to think really until we were more into the game. I think everything was just coming all at once really fast to me. So I was just
Mhm.
rolling with it at first. And once I got knew more what was going on and understood it a little bit more, but seemed to work.
Yeah.
Just play dumb. I wasn't
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah, I think that kind of fluid gameplay is a lot better because some people come in with like a very like clear, like I'm going to do this X, Y, and
Yeah,
Z,
yeah.
and like they try to stick to it even when they shouldn't.
Hmm.
I know Esteban, he wanted to come in here and play hard from the get go.
I know he did kind of give that vibe off, and then oh my goodness, I can't remember his name right now. He was one of my favorites. Just whenever he was talking about in the beginning, he like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. He's like, I hope I'm voted out first.
Yeah,
Like
Dominic.
Yeah,
Dominic, yes,
Yeah.
and he made it so far.
he did.
Oh, I
He
love
did.
that for him.
Yeah, he was my expected first boot of the season.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of my close friends. We have a production company together, but like I just know how he is, and he just can say some really stupid shit sometimes, and I'm just
Oh, I
like,
love that.
yeah, I was like, this cast is either going to love it or wanting to get you out right away.
I was glad he stuck around for as long as he did. He
Mhm,
made it very interesting. Just
mhm.
everything that came out of his mouth was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was. So when you were divided into teams and everything, thankfully Esteban, without him like knowing, unbeknownst to him, picked both you and Miranda to be on the same team. So how did that feel like knowing that you had your buddy right off the bat?
A little bit of relief for sure, even though I didn't really know what was going to happen. Like I said, I've seen Survivor before, so it doesn't really mean anything being on teams, because people go against each other all the time. But just to have her there on the same side for that little bit, it was nice.
Mhm,
Big relief. Um, we couldn't really discuss anything, so it didn't really matter that
mhm.
much,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was still nice.
Yeah, especially with kind of like that first vote, everyone was kind of sticking to the
My
one
God. I
breakout
tried
room.
I tried so hard to break away and go to
Yeah.
other rooms, and then it would just be me and another mod, but I didn't want to be there by myself. Like Kristen at first, I didn't understand it, but now I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Kristen also, I mean, she knows a lot of people in the community. So she
Hmm.
is like she's definitely someone who can kind of just sit one place and just
Exactly. Yeah, that's
and
why at
control
first I was like,
control.
why is she doing this? I don't understand, but
Yeah.
Also,
I get it now.
also, Kristen didn't care if she went or not.
I
Well,
She,
Yeah.
she
Or
went
how
in
far I
like
got her.
got her to be one of the runner-ups.
Mhm,
Yeah, but unbeknownst to her, that by doing so made her play one hell of a game. Um, yeah, there's a reason why she's regarded as Mama Vanquish, not just because she walks the walk or talks the talk with hosting those games, but
Yeah.
mhm.
also she herself is a phenomenal player, and
Yeah.
she reminded everyone of that.
And I
Yeah.
and I didn't know who she was going into this, and the whole time I'm
Yeah,
just like, and afterwards I'm like, man, she's pretty badass, like for doing that and still making it that far. But good for her.
Yeah.
I would be too scared to be there by myself, thinking, oh my God, what are they all talking about? But she really
Yeah.
didn't care, and she did good for
yeah,
her.
yeah. Not everyone can pull off that strategy.
No.
Mhm. Yeah. So yeah, the also coach, unfortunately, who was on your team, she ends up having her computer go out right as the breakout rooms are pretty much
I
opening.
know. Oh
Um
yes,
w-
bummer. That
was
sucks.
yeah, was there any like thought of maybe trying to get someone else, or was it just like, well, I guess it just has to be her because of it?
It was more of just trying to stay on the right side of the vote at that
Hmm.
time. I didn't want to necessarily get her out because her Wi-Fi messed up her computer. Like it's not her fault,
Yeah.
like but the time of the game, and it was very
Yeah,
fresh. I didn't
Yeah.
know anyone, so I just kind of just was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. In a lot of these minis, like there's usually like someone who just has some technical issue that just kind of screws them
It
up in
comes
the
with
game.
it, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I don't
for
think she would
sure.
have been the first boot
There
if
was
that
no.
didn't. Yeah,
No, I don't think so either.
yeah,
No.
Coach RC is a very, very strong player. She does so many of these. It was a little sad to see her go. I'm not gonna lie. But
yeah.
I don't want to say it's the nature of the game, but you know,
Someone's got to go home
it's all someone always has to go home.
Yeah, it just sucks because the two people who I've played with on the season was Coach and Jeffy, and those were the
and they're the
first two.
first ones to go.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
I was just like, and I was like the one doing that tribal council, so I was just like, dang, I'm just saying bye to my friends. Like this really sucks.
In the
Yep.
worst position.
Yeah.
I'm sure they
No.
forgave you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Jeffy made
Joe
sure
didn't do
to.
shit.
Yeah. Jeffy, by the way, had like 100 message conversation with me after the season.
Oh
Like
my
he just.
gosh. Even more? That doesn't surprise me how he was coming into it. I love
Yeah.
that.
Uh, okay.
Uh,
So yeah, you take out coach and then we get to the merge, making the merge very very quickly here. What was kind of the thoughts going into this round, because it ended up being everyone
Hmm.
against the one person who played an idol the previous round, Devin. Was there much talk, or was it just kind of like we just got to take him out now?
I think that there wasn't much talk of it. And again, I was still trying to feel out where I was. So just wanted to be on the right side with that one too.
Mhm.
Um, but for him to play in, I mean, you know, for him to play in his idol so soon, it kind of made sense to get him out
Mhm.
because he was just there to play, obviously, like not everyone else, but I wasn't opposed to getting him out that time.
Mhm.
I think that's fair. I
Yeah.
mean, the unfortunate nature is playing an idol can offer you protection for that round,
Hmm.
but especially in a mini, any reason is a good reason to rid of someone. And once you played that idol in the very first one, yeah. But more advantages started to pop up. What are your thoughts on Curse Island? Because it was something where, and we changed it up different ways. What was the criteria to make it to Curse Island? So, what was everyone's like thoughts about Curse Island in the breakout rooms, or like what was going on there?
For the most part, in the beginning, it was just a lot of chaos, I feel like, because no one would really break out. There wasn't really much talk about what they thought Curse Island was at the time, what that necessarily meant. I think it was more of people just trying to figure out where they were, who they were with, who they could trust, because everyone was, for the most part in the same room, and
Mhm.
just making sure that who they voted for was the one out. I know there was some confusion with some of them because for the most part, um, everyone would agree on the same person. But there was a few times when there would be just a number of us in a different chat, and I think that we would just agree on that on one person, um, and then go back into the other room and start talk again. But everyone would still stick with that one person. We were just kind of saying what needed to be said at the time,
Mhm.
which I guess that could be the curse, the curse island of it. Someone thinking that it was going to be the one person because everyone was in the same chat.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I hated being in the same chat with everyone. I wanted to talk strategy. I wanted to talk
Yeah,
who are we
Yeah.
getting out, like I watched
yeah,
Survivor, like that's what you're supposed to do. How are we supposed to talk about someone with everyone there without putting a target
Yeah.
on your back? So
that
oh,
that definitely was a big challenge. There are some orgs out there, specifically Joe has played in orgs where it's just basically no challenges. The host just is
just
like, y'all just vote people
Just
out.
vote
I
people
might
out.
chime in here and there.
The
Yeah.
And it's
popularity.
all
Yeah.
live
It's
on
Yeah.
Zoom.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
God.
so tough because like yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like I want to like do one-on-ones, like that's my
Mhm.
strategy. So when you're kind of just like you got to talk to everyone, like if you say a positive thing to someone, that means everyone else is going to take a negative. If you say a negative
Yes.
thing to
Yes.
one person, you don't know who that person is with.
Yeah.
So then suddenly you can still get a bunch of enemies. So it makes talking and strategizing a lot harder.
Yeah. There was a couple times I remember I'd break out and try to go to another room. It would just be me. I know at one point there was just me and Miranda, and one of us said a name, and we're like, okay, that's it. And then went back. And then I think that I was in a chat with, it was just me and Phil at one point too. And we talked for a minute. Oh, he wanted to know how everyone decided on Devin, I think.
Mhm,
But that was whenever
Yeah.
we were still in our teens, I believe. But
mhm.
but I don't know. Phil had a vengeance against him. He was ready to get him out.
They did play in the same season.
I
Yeah.
And I think
heard.
Phil was definitely worried about some other alumni from his season. He was
Yes.
even a little like we even thought that he might have been worried about Miranda because Phil very publicly took out another Deal or No Deal Island alumni in his first season.
Oh no. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so he was going into this pretty nervous,
Yes.
but
Okay.
Yeah.
um, it looked like you two, along with Miranda, obviously, were kind of like started to form like this, final three together, or at
Hmm.
least that's what it looked like from an
And then
audience
you two
perspective.
made me decide between the two of them in front of everyone. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was
And poor Phil. He knew that I was gonna
yeah,
pick her, and I knew I couldn't get her out. Like she got me on here, and she's my, so I just
Yeah.
it still it killed me to have to say his name.
yeah.
Yeah.
No. Uh, it did lead to, well, I mean, to kind of like go there, it did lead to you winning your first immunity challenge. That was the round you were able to do it. How did it feel like winning these challenges the first time against some players? Or I'd say like still most of these players have done stuff like this before, but you ended up winning a majority or three challenges, which right now you set the record to beat. Um,
Mhm.
so how did it feel like winning these challenges, especially people that know what they're doing?
Badass.
Agreed.
Like
Yeah.
I did not know, I kind of knew what to expect. I keep saying I didn't know what to expect. Like I did and I didn't. I've seen, I watched Miranda's last the last episode she was on, and she had talked about it. But I didn't, only to extent I knew what was gonna happen, not gonna happen, but it was very surreal. I don't want to say I didn't have any faith in myself, but I'm not used to uh that, like
Mhm.
winning or anything, and to win three of the challenges. One of them was the flip cup one, right?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
first one.
I got like that's a party game. Like
Yeah.
that one was pretty good. I had a good feeling about that one. I was hoping y'all were gonna have us play beer pong next because I
Mhm.
was ready for that too.
Yeah, originally this was going to be a 2-day mini,
Uh,
and that was kind of like we did have something of that originally, but we took it out because we needed to make room.
for just yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it was very exciting, boosted my ego a little bit,
yeah,
but it was a lot of fun. I honestly still can't believe that I won three of the challenges like that, especially the planking one. That one
uh,
was, I really thought Amy was
yeah.
gonna have that one, being in the army, and just I don't
Yeah.
know, it was awesome.
Yeah,
No.
you were still on that. Like honestly, like or
Mhm.
you could have maybe beat Ryan's records. You could have gone 10 minutes. I think.
I don't think I
We
could have
could,
gotten 10 minutes. And
you
it's
know,
so funny. I
that
remember
could
like
be. That could be a future segment on the channel. We just do a plank off.
I'm gonna have to work on that. I'm gonna go for 12 minutes just for
All
that.
right. I'll go 12 minutes and 1 second because
Oh,
obviously,
come on.
Yeah.
uh, but no, all right. This is something I was gonna ask later, but since we're on the subject, out of all the challenges, and it doesn't have to be one that you won in, what was your favorite?
My favorite was probably I hate to say it, but I think it was the plank one. Um,
Hmm.
just whenever I was there doing it, I felt like I was oh shaking so bad. Like I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm still doing it. And then I go back and watch the video and I just have to laugh because I'm just there. Like I don't even
Yeah.
look like I
There's
Exactly.
no
moved. So
movements. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good thing that we got you to get your animal away too, because that could
Oh my
definitely
God. Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
have your
Thank
dog
you
kind
for
of
that.
just
And it's so funny. You were like, and you can get your animals, and I'm just there, and I'm like, oh my God, they're talking to me. No one else has
Yeah.
their
yeah.
animal out. Like it took me a second to realize. I was just like in Twilight Zone the whole time, like just
Yeah.
having a good time and didn't even realize it.
Did you ever feel like you had to win the challenges in order to make it as far as you did, or was it just
I was definitely trying my hardest because e- everyone else had done them, right? Besides, I think Kari
Eh,
Hunt, right?
Kari, Esteban, and Dominic were newbies? Trying to think if there was anyone
But
else
they still
besides yourself.
mhm.
knew a couple
Vi-
people.
yeah.
But
Viviana
yeah,
also hasn't done it.
Oh
Viviana.
yeah,
Okay, okay,
Viviana has not done.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely feel like I had to try my hardest. Just being the newbie, like didn't think that I would even. I didn't think I was gonna make it that far. And then
Mhm.
whenever you said that no one even wrote down my name, like I was like,
Yeah.
how the
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which if I spend more time writing stuff down, I want to pull up some statistics about that because one, it takes a lot to just go through the entire game and not anyone write your name down, let alone win the season. But to also get a perfect record, Joe, you might know the statistics way better than I do, but like
Mhm.
that in the actual show of Survivor, there's maybe let you can count on one hand how many contestants have actually done that.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends on how you want to define a perfect game. There's only been two people who played the perfect game the way you did, Kendall, in the history of
Yeah.
Survivor. And then there's like a
put
couple
me on
ones.
Survivor?
I mean, you showcased you could do it.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, pat on my back.
And the like the but another people are like, oh, getting all the jury votes. But like, the
Yeah.
so basically you just did 100%. Like I think you accomplished so much in one game that some orgers it takes them like two or three or like five in order to do. So
Yeah.
very
That's
proud moment.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
you set
Yeah.
the standard for our winners on our channel now like super high. Like it is
Gee,
like
Yeah.
sorry.
no, don't be sorry. I mean,
No, not
No,
sorry.
yeah,
not at
Sorry
that's what
all.
then.
you want to do. Yeah.
No. All right. One thing I wanted to ask, how what was like your game plan going into this game, especially like because you didn't know what to fully expect. Like obviously stick close to Miranda, but what else was how did you want to come off? Because you are familiar with this show in some regard. Um,
I wanted to play as honest as I could. For the for the initial, like, okay, I'm gonna vote for this person. I'm gonna vote with this person. That is what I did. Whenever we broke off into other rooms and there was more people, I would just agree if something else was said. I'm not just gonna turn my back and switch up. Um, just because someone else wants me to. I think there was one time in my vote that I did change my mind at last second, and it was more I was thinking what was best for my game at that point, and I think that that was when I had to vote. Um, geez, I can't think of anyone's name. Cameron.
Cameron,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, he was the last guy out, I believe.
Second to
Second
last.
to last, yeah.
Okay, okay. Because I felt like I would be better off with us girls at the end.
Mhm.
I didn't want to turn my back on them. So I thought that that would just be better for my game. But other than that, just play. You know, I don't want to sound cliche, but just tried to play an honest game. Just be
Mhm.
myself. Said what I thought. And see,
Yeah.
no way.
I will say also, just more credit to the gameplay you did. There are so many people that want to go out like that and get demolished at the beginning. So like, uh, like there's a lot of labels like hero, villain, and stuff like that. I
Yes,
think
yes,
definitely you if we were to categorize, you would definitely be like on the hero tribe with
Yeah,
just how
without
you
a
did
doubt.
everything. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, because I hate watching like Survivor and people just playing both sides and
Mhm.
like they don't the other contestants don't see it. You see it at home and I will get so frustrated with them. So I just tried not to be like that,
Mhm.
you know. I don't know. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, it worked out for you,
yeah,
the
I don't know if it would work out every time. Maybe sometimes I'll have to
mhm.
switch up and be a villain. I don't want to
Yeah,
be, but
yeah.
it depends.
Yeah, I'm definitely would be super curious to see what would happen in the jury if Miranda wins that tiebreaker at Final Four and
Yeah.
it's you, Kristen, and Miranda as the final three.
Oh
You,
yes.
Yeah.
yeah. One thing I did want to ask, and Joe kind of like brought it up to transition into it. It's like during that pivotal moment where it was the final four, at that point were you thinking about, final tribal council, the jury and stuff, and your game being too closely associated with Miranda, and then you two might split votes, or at the very least, kind of like how Amy and Kristen were being labeled as a duo and they both
Mhm.
made it to the end, and so it kind of diminished. Like, were those kind of thoughts going through your heads, or like when you got to that point?
Not really, because at that point, it is what it is. It's
Mhm.
it's out of our hands. I mean, we did so much up that we could up into that point. So what happened after that wasn't really on us. So, I did think about it, but I wouldn't be upset or anything, it was just it would
Yeah.
have been it is what it is.
No, it's
Yeah.
always like cool if you could end up there with your best friend and not,
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
even though Joe,
I've been saying that to Ryan this whole time. Like, Ryan,
no,
let's be
Joe.
honest.
So, you don't know. So, if you ever want to watch one of the ones I've done, Heroes versus Villains on Jake's channel, Tribe of Nerds, um, Joe was an alternate for that, or like, but it just didn't pan out. And so afterwards, Joe was like, I was worried like if we were on the same team of like one of us getting targeted as a result, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it to my buddy. And then Joe afterwards like, no, I would have voted your ass. Say that, oh no, you
I
want to
was
play like a
I
hero,
was gonna go on the
everything.
tribe and first thing throw him under the bus.
Yeah, definitely not my
Exactly.
first game. Not definitely not on my first game. I couldn't throw Miranda out like that.
Yeah.
No.
But
Yeah. Well,
who
I
knows?
just know I knew a lot of people were already talking about wanting to target Ryan. So I was like, it's either him or me. I don't want it to be me.
If you know at that point, you got to do what's best for your game.
Yeah.
And afterwards, the next day, me and Miranda were hanging out, and she was like, if you had to vote me out for your game, you got to vote me out for your game. She's like, I would not be mad at you, and I was like, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So it's good.
No,
Nice, nice.
thankfully you weren't in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not. And then for final tribal council, like, what was like your kind of like how did you want to come off to the like? I know you were saying a lot about honesty and stuff like that. Um, were you worried about like some of the questions they may have asked, or was there a question that might have like tripped you up?
Um, I'm there wasn't I don't think that there was really any questions towards me um that messed me up like that. I feel like I'm very awkward and don't know how to really express what I'm feeling. It's all in my head, but
Mhm.
to actually come out of my mouth is different. So I was just trying to say what I felt. I wanted people to know that I was there to play the game. I play the honest game. I won the challenges, and I felt like I played a good enough game um, that I really didn't have to explain too much. I don't know how that comes off, but for this to be my first time, I didn't really know what to say. So I was just
Mhm.
hoping that my game said enough, you
Yeah,
know?
And
and I think,
it did
yeah.
feel like yeah, it did feel like you had a lot of cheerleaders on there. Phil was giving
Mhm.
you praise. Mur was obviously always going to give you praise. Um, it was a thing, and like even watching back, you probably saw that some people were like, "Kristen is about to win this game," and it was from the jury that said that as well. What do you think was the turning point of that?
I have no idea because I really thought that Kristen was going to win it too.
Mhm.
So honestly, I have no idea how I pulled that off. I don't
Yeah,
I still I I don't understand how I got all the votes. Like it's just crazy to me still.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Uh,
awesome, but I just it's still so just mind-blowing to me.
Agreed. One question I did have about that, because you brought it up that it seemed like Kristen was going to win. When final four, all ladies made it to the end, and then one more person had to go. What made you and Mur choose Amy over Kristen? Because if Kristen seemed like the runner to win, why was it Amy specifically that y'all were going after?
Because it was it was because Kristen, I know Kristen seemed like she didn't really want to be there, and I know Amy was very tired for from her time zone where she was, but I just felt like Kristen wanted it a little bit more than Amy, so I had to respect that. I didn't want to just vote Kristen out because she wanted to be there. You know, she wanted
Mhm.
to win. Like everyone deserves a fair game, fair chance. And I just thought that, you know, and Amy was very tired. So it was just a lot. Um, but it was more that we wanted to get Amy out because I just felt that Kristen wanted to be there more.
Yeah,
Even though I
respect that.
thought that she was going to take it, I just didn't want to vote her out of spite, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah, yeah, very fair, very fair. Also, if you ever want to be on a Vanquish, a good thing not to be on Kristen's bad side.
True.
Yeah.
True.
No.
But no hate towards any of them, you know. We're here
Yeah.
to play the game, and I'm friends with Kristen and Amy now on Facebook also.
Mhm.
Um so it was a very cool experience. And a very good um first game to know, like, if I were to do this again, You know, I don't think that I would necessarily do everything the same. I would like
Yeah,
to win the challenges, you know, not
Mhm.
in not
yeah.
in that, but you know, it's kind of like a learning process. So, and now I know if Kristen is there and just in her own room, now I understand what's going on. So.
Yeah.
You will run into some of the org community is has a lot of familiar faces. You will end up playing like even recently Joe was in a season with both Amy and Esteban
Mhm,
and everything. Uh, and like, you know, like you'll run into some of the same people over and over again. And some people they use past games against you. Some people
Yeah.
will be like new game who dis.
mhm.
It varies, but it's
Yeah.
a whole big world that you just entered. You just
Yeah.
Yes,
don't know yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
yes.
and especially
But
minis, like minis especially, like if you know anyone, like that's the connections that usually like dictate the game. So like it's super impressive as like a first time player being able to come into a mini and just like dominate it. So
nice.
yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Mhm.
One question I do like to ask everyone. I'm glad that you said that you have watched Survivor and stuff like that. I didn't ask Mer this because she is a reality comp person, so obviously it was easy for her to be like, oh, like herself. She also didn't watch any Survivor, but since you have watched Survivor, who would you compare yourself the way you play the game? What
Oh
contestants would
man.
you use?
Like I watched Survivor, but I didn't like watch it religiously to even like remember who was on what season.
That's fair.
But oh man, I'll tell you who I did really like one year was Carolyn.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carolyn.
Oh
Yeah.
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 She
I
was
I would
just
say you did not play a Carolyn game.
No.
no, not at all. But
I know.
she was definitely herself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she didn't let anyone change her.
Yeah.
Um, she's just that's just one of the names that really stuck with me. Um, I honestly couldn't even name anyone else other than Boston Rob, but
Uh-huh.
definitely didn't. He's
Yeah.
not. Can I say I'm not a fan of him?
Yeah, you can. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so before the season, I kind of saw you and Miranda as Amanda Kimmel and Parvati Shallow from Micronesia. And they ran this alliance called the Black Widow Brigade, which was this all-female alliance of four women who basically take out all the men and make it to the final four. And before the season, I was like, yeah, I think you're Amanda. I think Miranda's Parvati. Parvati and Amanda are the final two of that season. And in that scenario, Parvati won. So I was definitely like, oh, giving the credit to Miranda. And then, like as the season went, it kind of like switched where I was like, wait a second, now it's kind of like this different, but still Amanda, like she beasted out the challenges on the season as
Mhm.
well. Like, but her fault was just she couldn't talk very well at the end, couldn't do the final tribal, whereas you were able to actually, articulate your game a lot better and not be kind of wishy-washy on what you were
Yeah,
talking about.
and it's funny. Whenever I watch Survivor, like with and like how we were at the end of the game with like the all girl alliance. I'm
Mhm,
not always like necessarily a fan of all that, like all girl power or whatever.
mhm.
It was just how it worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which I guess is not always how it works out because I feel like a lot of contestants, that's like what they go for, you know, but you need a little bit of you need to mix it up some, I think,
yeah,
to get to be able to make it farther.
yeah. I also think
It's
there was a
true.
lot of badass women on the season as well. And
Yeah.
like
True.
the guys had a lot more egos with the guys, kind of like, and they would talk and like kind of do a lot more things bigger, which led them to be bigger targets.
True.
So I was even just on paper, I was like, this does seem like it could be a
Yeah.
very much a women's season.
That's what I said, but like towards the end, like
Yeah,
it's just what worked out better, and I
yeah,
wasn't hating it. So
yeah.
and I understand it now why, they says girls got to stick together.
Mhm.
I mean, if the opportunity presents itself and y'all actually vibe well together,
Yeah.
then go for it.
Yep.
Um, I feel like what separates this one to some others I've seen in the past is I feel like the Final Four, especially, gathered naturally, where some people where well it work in like, and not only even just that, but like there are some other connecting forces that bring people together, but like the vibes aren't there. We even see in 41 where there was like, there was a POC alliance that didn't pan out, mostly
Hmm.
because like the personalities didn't mesh well
Yeah.
together.
Mhm.
But where it did seem like you four did really get along,
Hmm.
um and I mean, like, I will say, because of the Kristen Cameron hate, Cameron was a pretty easy target.
Oh yes.
Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
and yeah, but like, you
And
know,
at first I was against getting Cameron out because he was on my original team.
Mhm.
But then that's whenever I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it further with the girls. So, and then that's why I decided to vote him out and stay with Kristen. And I'm glad I did. And like you said, we all got along great. We vibed well. I just feel like we were just chill, just there. Like there was no one. And for Kristen and Amy to be close, and then me and Miranda, it's funny how it worked out. How the four of us were there.
look at my questions. Uh, I think you pretty much covered everything. Joe, do you have any more questions?
Let's see. Here I asked this question with Miranda too, but between the decision between Phil and Dominic, when you were in the that split, what was kind of like the reason for maybe targeting Dominic over Phil originally before the safer without power kind of came into effect?
I believe that's when me and Phil had spoke. And he was telling me that he pretty much that he had me, like
Mhm.
that he had my back. I scratched my back, I scratched my back. But Phil had pretty much let me know that he was on my side, and they're on my side, and me and Dominic didn't really have any conversations outside of the bigger group chat. So
Mhm.
I hated to see him go, but it was just better for my game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a tough four to draw, in my opinion. Like, especially as like a
Yeah,
Yeah,
spectator, I was like, "Oh
yeah,
no, I don't want to lose any of these four."
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Once it got smaller and smaller, like I didn't
Yeah,
want to vote for anyone.
yeah,
yeah. No. I think one of the great things, especially because we did have a small cast, we did have a lot of, even if there were so many like great people involved, where it was like I feel like and I did know some of the early boots too, so I was like, oh dang. But it did feel like, each decision was hard, even if it was
Hmm.
something as trivial as, Coach RC's internet going down. I was like, oh
Hmm.
dang, this
That
does
like that was hard. That sucked, and
yeah.
yeah.
um, the names kept just be were thrown out. I think it was the same person who would just keep um throwing out the name first because they played an idol, their internet went out, or they played an advantage. Like, okay, we get it. Yeah, that's part of the game. Like, we can't just vote him out because of that, but those were all early votes, so I was
Hmm.
still just, winging it at that point until
Yeah.
I had my backbone on me and was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna make these decisions for me.
Yeah. And you started making them at the right time, especially when
Oh,
you
yeah.
once you start winning those immunities, you the only time that from final 8 onwards that you could have gone home was at final 5. Like you had immunity every time. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't have gone home any other time.
Exactly.
Uh, nice. Okay. Well, I just gotta ask another question. Yeah, would you play our org again? Would you be wanting to play
Oh,
another one?
100% yes. Yes, for sure.
Awesome.
I don't know
Awesome.
if I would do as good. I don't want to
Mm.
disappoint and be sent
It'd be
home
hard to
first.
replicate what you did. I'll be real. It would be
Yeah.
very hard.
Yeah, you should not set your expectations as this is going to be exactly what happens every
All right,
time.
okay, all right. I'll show you guys. I'm gonna win
Yeah.
all of them next.
Yeah. If you do it again, like, I mean, you're just the best player ever. Like, there's just no.
Yeah.
Setting the bar high. I'll try. But
Yeah.
no, I would definitely love to do it again. It was
Mhm.
it was a lot of fun. Met some awesome people. Uh, it was just fun. Like I didn't think that it would be this entertaining to do. Like I knew it was going to be fun, but I didn't think that I would have such a good time doing it and kill it as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Dominic said too. Like he pretty much did the exact same thing. He was like, "It's going to be fun," but he didn't realize how fun that it actually can be
yeah,
once
yeah,
you're in it.
yeah. It is a lot of fun, and just everyone
Yeah,
I feel like is just on this high, like just
yeah,
ready to play. Like just everyone's there having a great time.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm excited to see once you enter Vanquish too. Like if you play a Vanquish game, I'm going to be so excited to see how you do.
Would you do a full season or would you do like another mini? I was like
What's
a
up?
full season.
Go ahead.
Essentially, it's what Amy and Phil are doing right now, where it's like each night you have one challenge and one tribal council. Sometimes they do doubles or something like that, but like it's over more of the course as opposed to fitting it in on one night or a weekend like
Yeah,
you and
it,
Miranda did.
it's like 4 weeks long.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
So it's more
Um,
like the actual show.
yeah,
I honestly I would try them all. I thought that the mini was a lot of fun because me I get very impatient. So
mhm,
I feel like for it to be drug on like that and have to go on with my normal work day and have to wait
yeah,
all day to do it again.
yeah,
Um, but it would definitely be something that I would still be interested in
yeah.
for sure.
That's the one where you can actually have a lot of those one-on-one conversations because you can do video
Yeah.
chats. You get to text people in one-on-one
Okay.
conversations,
Okay.
have alliance chats, like because you have all that extra time, you're able to like
True.
build
Okay.
your base game a lot better. That's mostly what I did at first. Like I did 2 long games, and I think long games are more fun.
Yeah.
But I
I
also recognize that the time commitment is just can be a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Like
No.
I've never done a long game, but I've always wanted to. They look cool. I just for the most part have not been able to fit in my schedule, and when I did, I just wasn't cast. So, you know, we'll see.
We'll get them next time. If you're not in another movie.
I mean, I'm trying. I think that was another thing too. I'm not going to make this interview about me. It happened. I will say it happened a lot with Miranda, where she would ask us questions like, "This is supposed to be about you," but no.
He loves to.
Um,
Yeah.
Not I guess I'll ask this to you. After playing and being in the org community, would you ever apply to a reality competition show?
Oh my God, yes. It's just the actual applying part.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I would love to go on Survivor and just to see if I can do the challenges, because at home you're like yelling at the TV and come on, and it's right there, and this and that, and then just to be in the just to go to tribal council, like that would be crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then playing for also like millions of dollars too. Like that
Yeah.
Oh,
would be dope.
Big
yes,
prize
that
money.
too. That too, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be great. You see,
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that because
Here,
I get my hopes up and not
I'll
winning.
talk. I know I said I didn't want to make it about me a little bit, but I will say, anytime I do any of these orgs and stuff like that, I tell my grandma, first thing she always asks, are you getting paid? So I feel like just to make grandma happy, it has to be a paid one. So I was like, well, the only way I can do that is if I actually get on Survivor. Uh,
You tell your grandma
Yeah.
first. Say I
I will.
could get paid.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay. Any other questions, Ryan? You got anything else for Kendall?
No. Nothing here for the interview.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Kendall, if you want to promote anything, I don't know if you want to promote anything that you got going on. I don't know if you want to be mentioning any orgs or if you've seen anything like that. I want to let you know. I should definitely send you Reality Miniverse. They're doing a org right now, or they're about to, called Concordant. I was on the first season, so you should definitely do season two. And it's basically you have to unanimously vote one person off, and everyone has to agree to vote that one person off.
Oh, I think that I had just seen that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
I
Miranda's actually thinking of doing it.
Y'all could do it
no, yeah.
together.
Send me all the things. Send
Yeah.
me all the things.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. I'll do that after this.
Okay. But I myself, I don't believe I have anything to
Mhm.
promote. I don't know anything like that
Your
Yeah.
Insta?
Yeah.
other than what I see on Facebook in the org community.
Mhm. Okay.
All right.
Well, unless you have any questions for us, I think that that's does it here for the interview.
Uh, I do not. I promise you, I will probably think of 10 questions as soon as we're done with this.
It's the nature of interviews. I do the
Mm.
exact
All right.
same thing.
All right. We're still on Facebook Messenger. You
Yeah.
can always ask us anytime.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, I think that wraps it up for this video. Stay tuned. We'll be starting our season 40 several coverage starting pretty soon and everything. And keep your eyes out for when we do our second org. Not
Yes.
soon, but
It's still a little
it'll
ways
be coming.
away.
It's coming. It's
Yeah.
a little ways away, but keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, we will see you all in the next one.
Peace.